So you want to go to the 2023 National. You bought your tickets, you got your airfare, you are ready to go. But what are you going to bring? What I'm not talking about are things like luggage and stuff like that you can use to stay at the hotel. I'm talking about what are you going to bring to the actual show and maybe what not to bring. When you go to the National, make sure you bring a budget. If you have $1,000 to spend, $100 to spend, $10,000 to spend, the number doesn't matter. But know your number. Don't risk your family's livelihood or your own future to go buy some pictures of men on cardboard, or women, or Marvel superheroes, or folks from Star Wars. Anyways, you get the point. Make sure you know what you can afford to spend. Track it. Be a responsible adult. Speaking of budgets, when you go, make sure you bring cash. Cash is still king. Sure, there's Cash App, there's Venmo, there's PayPal, and there's your credit card. Dealers will be taking that stuff, but if you bring cash with you, this is what allows you to have the most bargaining power you could ever possibly want at the 2023 National. Make sure you bring supplies. Here we're talking about mags, gem cases for cards that have value boxes, things like that. Top loaders, penny sleeves, things of that nature. It will be at the National for purchase, but it will be at a premium. Let's say you spend $4 at your local LCS. If that's how you buy your top loaders, you can probably 2x that stuff at the National, and it's going to sell out faster than you can possibly imagine. So make sure you come prepared, bring supplies with you. Make sure you bring... Look, there'll be things you can buy right there at the show. You'll be able to buy liquor even if you want, well, beer. Or you'll be able to buy water at the show as well. But bring a bottle, one you can fill up in a water fountain, and go a long way and save a ton of money. Hey, and since we're on the topic of water, let's go ahead and talk about food. Make sure you bring snacks with you. Yes, there's things you can eat at the Stevens Convention Center, but it's going to be really expensive. If you want, just go ahead and bring things like these with you to the National. That way you have something you can reach in your bag and pull out and eat. Tide you over until you can sit down and have a meal later. Look, I'm not saying the food there is bad. And look, you already spent $1,000. What's really $25 for a hot dog? Okay, a bit of an exaggeration, but you get my point. Regardless, would you rather have that money to reinvest somewhere else, or are you just going to spend it all on a hot dog and some nachos? Don't bring your junk slabs. Yeah, I know it's really popular for a lot of people to buy junk slab cards so they can flip them on places like Whatnot and stories like that. But look, I'm telling you, you don't want to be carrying around a box with 200 or 400 junk slabs with you all day long at the National to get $1 or $2 per slab, because that's probably what they're going to pay you. Leave those junk slabs at home. We're taking a Facebook Marketplace or some other way to try to move them, but I wouldn't suggest carrying things like that with you at the 2023 National. Look, don't bring all your value box cards with you when you go to the National. It doesn't make sense. It's going to be really heavy. It's going to be really cumbersome. And odds are dealers at the National aren't looking to buy a bunch of $quarter, $1, 50-cent, or $5 cards. That's not what they came for. And believe me, you don't want to lug that stuff around with you for miles and miles over 1 to 5 days. It's probably not worth it. Save that stuff for your local card show. Save that stuff for Facebook Marketplace, eBay stores, CompC, and the like. Probably the most important thing you need to bring with you to the National are comfortable shoes. Trust me, you don't want to be going around in high heels or big boots or something that's brand new that hasn't been broken in yet. I know style's important to a lot of people, but trust me, you're going to be walking miles over the period of a few days. You want to be comfortable. You don't want your feet to kill you. Imagine waking up on day 2 with blisters and you still have 4 days to go. Trust me, comfortable shoes, number one most important thing at the National. Backpacks, or a different way to carry your cards. Some people prefer Zion cases. Some like rolling suitcases. Some want to use wagons. Who knows? For me, the answer is always a backpack. With that backpack, you want to have an area where you can move all the way to the bottom and put a security tag or something like that on it so you know you're good to go. Little things like this will go a long way in making sure no one has access to the contents of your gear. And besides, I'm assuming you're planning on picking up a decent amount of cards while you're there. Having a backpack allows you to put it on your back, makes getting around really easy, storing stuff really easy, and keeps your hands free to do whatever it is you want to do. Also, I suggest bringing a little notebook with you. Make sure you can write down information while you're there. If you want to know the dealer you want to go back to, what aisle, what table number they're at, you'll be able to write it down. If you want to know where X, Y, or Z is, you'll be able to write it down. Now, if you're more new school than you are old school, forget the notebook. Go ahead and use the notepad function on your cell phone and record that information then. Regardless, you want to have a way to be able to write down the important things you see that you may want to circle back to. Or, heck, you might be able just to write down some directions and landmarks to let you know where a booth is you want to go back to, or some corporate section. At the end of the day, having a way to record all that is worth it. And don't forget, if you're going to be on your phone all day, checking comps, taking notes, or whatever the case may be, make sure you bring a way to keep your phone charged, i.e. some type of battery charger. 1, if not 2, will go a long way to ensuring you can get from early in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. Or heaven forbid, you go right from there to some type of pop-up trade night and you need your phone to last for an extended period of time. Battery chargers are a great way to ensure you have the juice you need throughout the entire day. That backpack, I put something like this, graded card box where I can store 1 to n number of cards. This allows me a way to reach in, take it out, hand it to a dealer without it being too bulky for the dealer or for myself. I'll carry 3 inside my backpack, 2 with cards I plan on moving and 1 with cards I plan on picking up. Throughout the day, that number will change. Look, and if you're going to the National, bring a good attitude. There's going to be crazy lines. People are going to bump into you. It's going to get frustrating from time to time. Maybe you want to talk to a dealer and that dealer's busy with someone else and you're looking at your watch trying to make sure you're going to get done in time. All these things are going to happen. Bring a good attitude. Remember, this is supposed to be some type of vacation. Along with that, bring your patience. Like I said, you're going to be waiting in lines. Lines are going to be a theme for 5 days. It's almost unavoidable. Or you're going to go to a table and you want to ask a dealer about a card, but he's talking to someone else and there's already 2 other people waiting to talk to that dealer. Wait your turn. Be patient. Don't interrupt. You can make the experience as good or bad for yourself and everyone else as you see fit. But having a little bit of patience, as Guns N' Roses would have said, is probably the right move. And be prepared. Bring a list. Write it all down. Make sure you know what you're looking for before you get there. Believe me, you're talking about 600,000 square feet of card collecting euphoria. You're going to get lost. You're going to see a card at the very first case you look in that you want to buy. I'm not saying don't buy it, but what I'm telling you is if you write down a list of the cards you're going to look for, it'll allow you to focus and take your budget that we talked about earlier, mesh it all together, and increase your overall effectiveness. I get it. Some people just want to go and have a good time and just kind of laissez-faire the whole thing. That's fine. For me, I say, go ahead, write down what you're looking for. Remember to be kind, to be patient, and enjoy yourself. This only comes around once every 365 days. Make sure you make the most. Have a good time. Meet some people. Make some new friends. Run into some old friends. It doesn't much matter. Whatever a good time is to you, make sure that's what you have. Take as much or little of this advice as you possibly want. I'm here to try to help you enjoy your time and maximize your efficiency to 2023 National. Hey, if you see me there, stop me and say hi. But after all, these are just my thoughts.